Welcome back to Extra Time Futbol. We have finally made it to round 3 of the World Cup group stage games. What a way to kick off with the games yesterday. Bosnia Herzegovina versus Qatar and Switzerland versus Canada started off the day. Bosnia did what they had to do. They won 3-1. They got the job done. They secured that third place spot. Obviously, it was going to be hard to jump into second, given the goal difference that Canada got over Qatar. So you're going to have to destroy them just as much. They were unfortunate to do so, but thankfully for them, they still got that third place spot. Now, I know nothing is secure for them just yet, as if like they're going to go through as one of the better third places teams. I want to say they will. I doubt anyone's really going to be, there's going to be a team that's going to be towards the bottom of the better three that's going to finish better than them to kick them off. But I still see Bosnia getting out as one of the better third place teams, but I don't really see them going far in this tournament from what I've seen of them. I still think Canada should have won that first game against them, and they were unfortunate to do so. Bosnia has a really good aerial game, so I could see that being a factor with them if they're going against shorter teams, and if they can just defend well, maybe they win a knockout game here and there. But I really don't see them getting far. It is Qatar; they got the win over Qatar, but there's nothing special about them. No disrespect to them, but they weren't special at the last World Cup. They were just there because it was the spot of host was gifted to them, and they automatically qualified them for this one. Yeah, they did earn their spot qualifying in there, but I still don't think they're a serious nation to compete with. At least not yet. Maybe now with the infrastructure going into their country, they will start competing in the next tournaments, like more seriously. But I still see a while before we get that. Moving over to Switzerland and Canada, I was genuinely surprised. We all know Switzerland is the better team of these two. But having that home field advantage, I did think that would help Canada a little bit more. I was proven wrong on this one. Still, Switzerland is a better team, so it's not too much of a shock. They did get that win. I would have loved to see the Canadians at least get a draw. Just, being our CONCACAF boys right there, you want to see them doing well as well. So, gutted for them to not get the point at least. But, hey, they still passed as the second better team of that group. They still automatically qualified, and they already have their first game set on their rival, which I will be speaking on a little bit more in just a while. Moving over to the Group C games, nothing really shocking here. I guess the real only surprise was that Haiti started off winning. Yeah, it was via an own goal, but they did start off winning, and they did have a 2-1 lead again at the end of getting close to the end of the first half. Morocco did tie it up right before half. Unfortunate for Haiti. I know Haiti's already eliminated, but would have loved to see them walk out with at least a point. I'm happy for them that they got a goal, though. They got a World Cup goal, and I'm happy for them. Again, another CONCACAF team. Sad to see them go out, but if they keep doing things well, maybe not on the next one, but in the next 2-3 World Cups, we might see them out at the biggest stage again, trying to compete. This one, they didn't have the big boys competing in CONCACAF qualifiers, so, a lot of the lower nations, I guess you could say, like ranking-wise, they did have a higher chance of making it through. That's why it's the biggest embarrassment for CONCACAF that Costa Rica and Honduras didn't make it, being who you would have thought were the top nations of CONCACAF without Mexico, the U.S., and Canada. So very disappointing for them, but happy for Haiti that they were able to make it. Sad for them to see them go out. But Morocco, they handle business. Hakimi got on the score sheet early to tie the game at the 39th. Great overall performance, like the domination of possession. It was nearly a 70-30 game, so Morocco did what they had to do. They walked away with all 3 points, and then they secured that second place spot for Group C. First place, it was going to Brazil. They had that goal difference against Haiti. It was going to be really hard to top them after that, and then they had a dominant 3-0 win against Scotland yesterday. And it could have been 4. Vinny had a goal disallowed, ruled off for a foul, I believe it was. But I want to, let me give my apologies to Vinny Jr. I did say more was expected from him. And the other day I made a video about the Golden Boot race. I did not mention Vinny. And that was foolish of me to leave him out. The man has quietly put his name into the Golden Boot race. He's tied in second place with 4 goals already. He has scored in every single group game as of now. Like, Vinny is doing his part. He's playing well. He's putting Brazil on his back. And who knows? Maybe he can guide him to a deep run. I still don't have the highest hopes for Brazil with what I see from, how their midfielders ran. Casemiro in there, the old man. It's going to be really hard to dictate a midfield at that age if you're not the fastest when you're going up against faster teams. Those first 20, 30 minutes that Morocco really pressured them, they made Brazil look slow. They made Brazil look really slow and really sluggish. So I feel like if they can compete, if they compete again against another team that's that high pace of a game, but they can play it at a higher standard throughout the game, say 40, 50, even 60 minutes of the game, I think Brazil's cooked. But overall, I would like to see them make a deep run if possible. And it looks like it will be on the backs of Vinny Jr. I do want to point out Neymar finally made his way back onto the field. So I'm happy for Neymar. Seeing him back on. You could tell what it meant to the fans. They were cheering his name right before he came on. He got a big standing ovation when he came on. Happy to see him back on the field. Lastly, we move to Group A. I don't want to spend too much time on the Mexico-Czechia game, as I already made a video about that last night. If you want to hear more thoughts, more in depth, feel free to watch that one. But Mexico versus Czechia, dominant win for Mexico. Astonishing 3-0 win, all in the second half. Mexico were the better team. The Czech Republic, they just didn't do that great. They were trying to play for the throw-ins and they were trying to look for corners. But every single ball that came into the air, Cesar Montes was on the end of it. He did not let them get a single cross get put away. He was just doing his part. Mexico was clinical on the other end. On the other end, we had a Mateo Chavez goal, Julian Quiñones, and Alvaro Fidalgo. The three did it, and so far in these three games, all goals have come from current or ex players from America and Chivas. So it looks like that's been the base to get Mexico successful in the World Cup. But 3 games, all 3 wins, 9 points, 0 goals conceded, 6 in favor, 3 clean sheets, something I've never seen before for Mexico in the World Cup. Love to see that. Moving over to the big surprise of the day, South Africa versus South Korea. South Africa, I owe you an apology. I did think you were going to be dead last after the first round of games. Yeah, we have that recency bias where sometimes we just overreact to what we see. And given what I saw from you the first day, I did not see you squeezing anything out. But I did point out after your game against the Czech Republic, I thought you were better than the Czech Republic. After I saw that game from you guys against them, I knew Mexico was going to beat the Czech Republic because of how I saw them play against South Africa. Now, this is no disrespect to South Africa in this sense, but South Africa was a way better team than the Czech Republic in that game. I felt gutted for them that they didn't win, and it was unfortunate for South Africa to not get the win that day. They would have made their qualification process, in my eyes at that point, a little bit easier. I saw it really hard for them coming into the last day, and potentially I still saw them walking away last place. Unless Mexico really got a dominant win against the Czech Republic and they only lost by like 1 goal on their end. Well, it looks like none of that was needed. Mexico did what they needed to do against the Czechs, but South Africa beat South Korea. And South Korea, wow, very underwhelming. I saw, I was trying to keep up between the 2 games. I had the main Mexico game on the TV. That was my main focus. But on the side on my phone right there, I was trying to watch the South Korea-South Africa game as much as I could. They had a chance to tie it up at the end. Unfortunate to not go in. Happy for the South Africans. They edged their way into second place, and they will be facing Canada now. That's going to be a good game. Canada's not the strongest opponent. They're no pushover by any means. But if South Africa keeps improving their game, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a win. Obviously, I'd like to see Canada go through again. CONCACAF, I would still support the CONCACAF teams first before any other nations from any other conferences right there. So I would like to see Canada go through, but I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if South Africa edged the win over them. South Korea, Mexico did their part for you. They beat the Czech Republic. All you needed to do was draw just to secure that second place spot. Balls, the fate's it's not up to you anymore. It's up to the other third place teams to do what they got to do. You got to get hope and pray that those results go your way so that you can go through. I will be rooting for you because I want to see the South Koreans go through, but gutted for them that they were not able to at least muster a point from last night's game. Great performance by South Africa, though. Great way to defend at the end. Great goal. What a way to get that in. What a win for them, too. And first time in World Cup history for South Africa that they qualified to the next round. Couldn't be more happier for them. And I love to see the celebrations that were being had amongst them at the end of the game there. We have more exciting games that await us today and this upcoming weekend, too, to end all round 3 games of the group stages and start the knockout phases on Sunday. I will be doing more videos following up with as many games as I possibly can. If you did enjoy this video and you're enjoying the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, as it does mean a lot to the channel. And hopefully I get to catch you again soon on the next one.